If you want to build custom Marlin firmware for your 3D printer, i tutorial. How to do it. First, go to Marlin GitHub and find repository. With firmware repository, branch should be bugfix-2.1.x. This branch contains latest bug fixes and features. Download using any preferred variant. For editing, I recommend using Visual Studio Code. In VS Code, go to Extensions panel and install two extensions, Platform IO IDE and Auto Build Marlin. In Platform IO file, find field default NVs and set value. Depending on your 3D printer mainboard, you can try find your variant in C, I build tests file. Now to firmware settings. For most cases, you can use Premade configuration from Marlin GitHub. But if you upgraded old printer with new features, like me, this variant won't work. Open configuration file, find define, motherboard and change to name of your motherboard. If you added probe for auto leveling, next settings for you. Find and stop pull up zoom in probe and uncomment it. Enable end stop, interrupts feature. Probe itself enabled by define BLTouch field. Set proper offset for probe according to mount you are using. For multiple probing, recommended value 2. After probing, offset should be 10 to 20 millimeters. And lowest point for probe -5 or -10 millimeters. Disable min software as end stop. Best choice for bed leveling is auto bed leveling by linear. Uncomment restore, leveling after G28 command to enable storing values of leveling. Enable extrapolate beyond grid. For grid, commonly used 4 points for each axis. Enables a safe homing. Other settings which you should change. If you switched from Bowden extruder to direct drive extruder, find extrude max length and reduce value depending on your setup. Enable classic jerk and S-curve acceleration. EERPOM settings should turned on. It's good point to enable nozzle park feature. If your board have slot for SD card and enable support. Individual axis homing menu should be enabled. For feedback enable speaker. If you are using stock display on your Ender, uncomment CR10 stock display. Next, open configuration ADV file. Find controller fan field and enable it, pin depending on your board. Define value for extruder cooling fan. Uncomment quick home setting. For probing, set delay 500, and is very important if you have problems with Z homing and your printer keeps going down even after probe triggered. Disable BLTouch Force SW mode. Enable adaptive step smoothing. For stock display, use LCD info menu. If you have problem with power outages, it is safe to enable power loss recovery and enable it by default. When printer turned back, it can finish print. For SD card connection set, onboard. Enable baby stepping. And LIN advance. Emergency parser should be enabled. Same for advanced pause feature. Come-up-form for all county-coids park on pause feature. Kikakamatin anitawagay for home before filament change and filament load unload G codes. Now you can go to Auto Build Marlin and build your firmware. After build finished, you can install your firmware on printer. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps you with firmware build.